Ani Bojo, Mallory, Nindigenous Cosbawa, Tingna Donjaba. Hello and welcome. My name is Mallory and I'm the host of She Carries the Water. And today we're going to be talking with Jackie. So, Jackie, if you want to introduce yourself, that'd be great.
My name is Jackie Fletcher. I have 4 boys, 7 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren. I grew up in a little railway town called Alcalsh on the CPR. And there was about 12 families there.
Okay. So we're kind of Sault Ste. Marie based, south of Wawa on the rail line. So your home territory is Missanabe Cree.
Yeah.
And you're a Cree Elder.
Yes.
Tell us about Missanabe Cree, like the original territory of Missanabe.
Missanabe. Our people came down from Moose Factory, came down the river system, and they stopped at Missanabe and some stopped at Chapleau. So we have relatives in both communities. But the reason why they left Moose Factory because they were starving. They were starving. There was no game.
Yeah.
So they came down the river system and settled in Missanabe. And during that time, some community members asked for land from the government, but they wouldn't give them any. And we were a part of Treaty 9. When the treaty commissioners went down to treat with Indians, we were one of them. But they said we didn't need land. What happened was in Missanabe, there was a gold mine not far from there. There was a lot of trapping, and there was a sawmill. So people were employed, and the government wanted the resources. So they didn't want to give us any land.
Oh.
It was a long fight that we had before we got land. But I grew up 10 miles down the track from Missanabe. It's a little town called Lochalsh.
Lochalsh.
And there was a mine there too.
And so who did you grow up with? Who was around you? Who was part of your family?
It was a non-native community. But there was native people living there, and some of the native people didn't even know they were native. Because of the 12 families, there was a lot of kids. Most houses had 7 or 8 kids. So we all used to go down. We were lived by a lake. It's called Wabatongushi Lake. We used to go down there and meet and swim all day long in which place called the Big Rock. When I went back there years later, it didn't look very big, but we all congregated at that Big Rock as kids. And that's where I learned how to swim, and we were in the water all the time.
Yeah.
If we weren't in the water, we were picking berries or cherries or something. My dad was a guide and there was a tourist camp there beside the Big Rock. And I was able to get a job there one summer with my mother. And I liked the job because it was right on the water. So I'd clean one cabin and come out and sit outside and just look at the water for a while and then go to the next cabin. My dad was the guide there too. So he was able to get a boat and we were able to go out on the lake and with picnics, have picnics out on the lake and go fishing. Okay, I grew up around water a lot because my mom and dad were trappers. And they'd take me with them wherever they went to go trapping. And they even named a little lake after me. My name was Tiny when I was a kid, and they called the lake Tiny's Lake. And one time my dad shot a muskrat, and the dog went to grab the muskrat. And Mom said, "Go and grab that before he tears a hole in the muskrat." And I went to grab it, and the muskrat bit me in the thumb.
Oh, no way.
I got scared, man. I almost passed out. So they took me to many lakes, Pine Lake, Trout Lake. My dad had a cabin on Trout Lake. I was only 5 when he built it. And I ended up taking my kids there, 2 kids at a time. I wanted them to see or feel the way it felt.
Yeah.
Like the trees remember me and the water remembers me. I feel that very strongly.
And did you introduce your kids to those trees and that water?
For sure. But there's another spot we used to go. We'd walk 2.5 miles down the track, railroad track, to go to Trout Cotton's Creek, it's called. And it had trout in it. So that's how dedicated we were getting near the water. We'd go down there and fish, and my grandma would be there making bannock on a stick and cooking the fish on as fast as we caught it, she cooked it. And there was berries too along the side of the track. They were really big.
What kind of berries were there?
Blueberries. Yeah, so I wanted my kids to experience being in Trout Lake, so I took them there 2 at a time, not the whole 4 of them. I would have lost them.
Yeah, so I'm thinking back of those times, right, and of your mom and dad trapping. What would you trap for?
Beaver, muskrat, mink, fisher, otter,
Okay.
rabbits, so many things.
Yeah.
And my mom was an excellent skinner. When you skin a beaver, you can't leave any fat on it. And usually people stretch it and then they scrape the hide.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when she skinned it without fat on it. She was very meticulous.
And then would you sell the hides?
Yeah, my dad used to go to the North Bay Trappers Association.
Okay.
And he'd sell the hide that we got all winter.
So you would trap the animal, skin it, clean it,
get it ready for sale.
Or just like tanning the hides, I guess.
No, I never saw her tan hides.
Oh, okay.
Maybe because we just didn't do it.
Yeah, okay. But that's lots of work too.
She could make things out of clothes. She was an incredible sewer.
Tell me more about your mom. What was her name?
Mary.
Mary.
She was a wonderful person. She had 9 kids. And she was when her and my dad were back in the bush, there was no division of labor. They did what needed to be done, whoever was there. That's one thing I respected my dad for. That he didn't expect my mom to do everything. He would do dishes, he would cook. And when I talk about Cotton's Creek, where we walked 2.5 miles down the track, we'd catch trout like you wouldn't believe. It was so plentiful. And then the butt car would come by. And you ever see a butt car?
No, what is it?
It's got an engine and then it's got a car for passengers.
Oh.
And the engine has a place for luggage. So there's only 2 cars. So we'd hear it coming down the track, and my dad would say, "Give me the fish." He kept them on a stringer. The butt car would come and we were going slow, and my dad would hold up the fish. We'd see it go down there, and then it would back up. We'd all get on. We'd all get on free.
Trade some fish for a ride back.
Yeah.
Smart. I think that division of labor is really important, where you don't really hear that in more of these times that we're in now.
No.
Like I feel it's very like gender roles specific, but and when you're in the bush, right, it's everyone needs to work together.
Yeah.
Everyone has to pitch in.
That's true.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, they'd make a fire outside and cook on the outside fire if it was summer. In the winter, they'd make fire inside. And I remember them during the summer, they would store food in the ground in a hole so the bears wouldn't get it. But we were always near the water. I've done many water ceremonies where I get the people to make little canoes out of birch bark and sticks. And then they put their tobacco in there and we set them all in the water and we say a prayer.
What's the intention behind doing something like that?
It's to pray for the water, to
Yeah.
keep it healthy, and to apologize to the water for all the garbage that's been put in it.
And is that something you just grew up knowing to do, or do you remember somebody specifically showing you how to do that?
No, somebody had to show me
Yeah.
when I was in my adult life.
Oh, okay.
You never, well, we used to be able to drink the water right out of the canoe.
Mm-hmm.
Just dip our cup in and drink it. Then over the years, they started talking about beaver fever.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why that happened. Maybe it's because of the mines leaching into the water and stuff like that. But when I lived in Nova Scotia, we were able to find a house near the ocean. So that was amazing. We could go for long walks down by the ocean because the road would follow the lay of the water.
And how was it like living beside that ocean compared to living beside a lake?
It didn't matter to me because it was all water.
Ah.
And I found water very healing. Whenever I was had a sad day or whatever, I'd go walk down by the water wherever it is. It's hard here in Sault Ste. Marie because you can't really get to the water.
Mm-hmm.
If you do, it's Bellevue Park or the boardwalk, and there's so many people. I thought the fish in the ocean were salt. I went and tasted the water. Oh my God, is it ever salty? But I found a little lake there too that I took my kids fishing. Once I become a single parent, I'd take them down by that little lake and bought them each fishing rods. Well, I find now that I'm confined to the house, I miss the water. And my son 2 years ago made a water feature outside. It was just beautiful. But the winter knocked it all down.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's going to put it back up again this year. But it's very soothing. When I go to sleep at night on my TV, I put the rain and thunder sounds on.
Mm-hmm.
I sleep well.
What do you kind of want future generations to know about that land, that water, that?
Well, I was part of the acquisition of a tourist resort we bought, and it's right on the lake. And so every year we have a reunion, and all the kids come, and they just love it there because there's a nice sandy beach, and they can go swimming, and that's the reason why we bought that. We wanted people to come back to the land as much as they want. Now they're starting to build homes there.
Yeah. And why is that so important?
It's it's in our blood. It's for healing. The kids feel it. They always want to come back. They can't wait for our gathering because they know what it feels like. People are happy.
What about you? What about your own body when you think of getting to go back?
Well, I advocated for where the seniors complex is, that they put a big veranda so we could sit there and watch the kids swim,
Mhm.
because I can't swim anymore. But even to put my feet in the water would be good. All my life I was around water.
Around the land, around animals, around family.
That's what makes it so special when you have your family with you.
You still are a huge advocate for water rights, for our own inherent rights as Indigenous people, always advocating and creating programs and story for your community and other surrounding communities. What would you want the younger people to continue on?
Well, the reason why we have these gatherings because we're the role models, and they see what we do. They see us gathering around the fire and doing the culture. We want them to feel that culture, never lose it, and they pass it on to their kids. I think that's so important. All my grandchildren have been to Island View, to the reunion, all my kids, and my great grandchildren. So they already know what that feeling is like.
So they know where they belong and
Yeah, that helps them to know where they belong.
yeah, and to whom they belong to.
Yeah, and the stories, to hear the stories from different people.
So important. And when you were out east in Nova Scotia, was there always a calling to come back home?
Every year, every second year, I would come back home. I'd bring two boys at a time on the train. And that's so funny. My dad's campus, at the time, the last time I went there with them, the two kids, Mark and Greg, jumped out of the canoe and they ran up to the cabin. They went inside and they come back to me and they said, "You really must have liked it here, Mom." I think they were expecting something flamboyant.
And glamorous.
Yeah, it was just a little shack, but they loved it.
And that was your home.
Yeah, it was when I was little growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I was traveling with my mom and dad and my younger sister. They'd take us in the bush and there was never no alcohol. As soon as we come back out to the non-native community, my dad would start drinking again. He had a lot of issues with non-native. But in the bush, he was happy. He was a good hunter, good gatherer, good trapper. I just remember the fishing days when you go out with families, 4 or 5 families in the boats. When we fish all day, then we come on shore and have a shore dinner. People would be cooking the fish, making fry bannock.
And everyone pitched in.
Everybody pitched in. And we all ate together. And that's when you heard the stories. My dad told the tourists one time, they asked him, "What does Wabatongushi mean?" The name of that lake.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "It means up to your ass and walleyes." And the tourist said to my dad, "Jack, I'm going to take you down to Detroit and I'm going to get you lost." He said, "I'll take you 20 yards back in the woods and you're going to get lost. Who are you going to ask for directions?" He was quite the character. Yeah, when we have our gathering now at Island View, There's so many people. You can tell everybody wants to be together, but there's still not enough room. They got to clear more land. And every year there's women bring their drums and they have a drumming circle. And there's always a teepee with the medicine man in there. People get their names and their colors. It's working out. We have a cultural coordinator who goes and talks with the mining company too. She's teaching them about ceremony.
When we say the word ceremony, what do we mean with that?
It's honoring the land and honoring the water
Yeah.
in a special way. And you learn from watching other people do it.
And why is that important?
Because it's where our heart is. It helps you know who you belong to and where you belong. The land speaks to you and the water speaks to you, and so do the trees. Took my granddaughter in the bush one time. She was about 4 years old. Just took her off the side of the road. It was springtime, and I told her to. There was a birch tree. I told her to put her ear there. She said, "I can hear something running." I said, "That's the sap." She says, "Nanny, you just know everything." And then another time, her dad's car broke down, so I was following behind. So I took her for a little walk along the way, and I said, if you want to pick flowers for your mom, and you got no tobacco, you just use a little bit of your hair. Put your hair down and you pick a flower. All of a sudden, I seen her go like this, wrap it around her finger, and yank the whole bunch out. I said, "What are you doing?" "Well, I want to pick lots of flowers for my mom," she said. So just learning little things like that sticks with you.
Mm-hmm. I think that's such an important piece, right? That we're taught to give before we take.
Share, yeah.
And to share.
Yeah.
Right? Like that offering of hair for that flower is huge.
The reciprocity.
Yeah. Can you tell me more just about that relationship? To reciprocity, to giving, to sharing, to, those values that I feel kind of get a little lost.
We forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm with my grandchildren, they bring out that in me that I want to teach them. My mom and dad never did too much ceremony because they weren't allowed. So they used to do it in secret. Like sharing, whenever we got a moose or beaver or something, we called family members over to come and eat. But you need to give back when you take. I went with this medicine. I don't know if he was a medicine man. He was an Ojibwe man, and he showed us. He took us in the bush and showed us some medicine. And he said, "Look for this," and he told us what color to look for, and we couldn't find it. "Now we're going to pray," he said. So he said a prayer in his language. And all of a sudden, you looked around, you could see that medicine everywhere. So that's why I know it really works.
And that prayer is almost like that reciprocity as well, right?
Yeah.
You're giving that to them, you're acknowledging that.
Yeah.
Showing that gratitude.
Yes, saying thank you.
Is there anything that's just showing up right now when you think of that water, or you think of that land, your homeland, or any messages you
When
want?
I think of this woman in that picture,
Yeah.
Josephine meant the things she did to give up the time in her life to walk around the Great Lakes to honor the water. That's quite a feat. And what a role model she is.
And continues to be.
My granddaughter brought me that picture.
It's beautiful.
So my granddaughter is a doctor now, and she does everything in ceremony. She introduced ceremony to pre-op in the hospital in Dartmouth. I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's giving back for sure.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to do that. And just even acknowledging, right, like our relationship within this environment, within this earth, within this natural world. Like we're just a little blip. You know, those rocks and that water and that those mountains have been around forever.
And they see everything.
So with that, that's the end of our interview with Cree Elder Jackie, and we just want to say Chimigwach for telling us about your life and your childhood and sharing those beautiful stories with us. And until the next episode, we'll say Bama